In our land. We know how to live off the land. Defense.
Alright, let's continue. We got about another minute and a half though.
Another thing we have going for us is that we have American spirit, and as seen in the past, Americans that know what they're fighting for are ready and prepared to fight for what they believe in. We can see that in the American Revolution, where we overcame Britain, who was a very threatening force that we weren't expected to overcome.
Good.
And our spirit will bring us together and pull us through.
Alright, the Confederate Army has some of the world's greatest generals of the time, including Mr. Robert E. Lee, and he is a great strategist, and I believe that he has the power to lead the South to victory. Also, we have some of the most experienced soldiers in the war. The Mexican-American War was fought in the South, in Texas, and we believe that the experience of those people in that war gives us a slight advantage. And also, we have most Southerners are also hunters, so they have experience with weapons. Another issue is that we're fighting for our way of life, and the only way to destroy our morale is to take over our entire country or region, and that is a very large mass of land. And I believe that the North can be easily defeated and beaten down, because as long as we put a dent in their forces and kind of ruin their morale, that it's going to be easy to get them to say that there's no reason to fight this war and that we shouldn't really be in here, so they're going to go against the political leaders in the North and they won't fight any longer.
And right off the bat, the Northerners, they don't have a fighting spirit. They were basically told to start making like volunteer armies in their states. I mean, there was no fighting spirit. They Northerners altogether did.
Who's Indy? I am General Bruner.
Indy. Captain Morgan.
Your points didn't really matter because they were invalid at the base of your argument. For one, you're saying this was a defensive war. You're fighting for your own land, which makes it harder for you guys to fight on your land, because we don't care. We can go in and blow up everything up. We don't care. We'll do whatever we want to your land. But it doesn't matter, because it's not our land, it's yours. And that's just going to hurt you in the long run. And then you said something about the American spirit. It's like the North is not American either. Are you guys only the Americans? The South people? I guess so. No. And then you say you have a great leader like Robert E. Lee, but when it came down to it, we had the more fighting power, we had the better weapons, and a leader is only as good with the resources that he has.
Good job.
And then you said that the Americans had no reason to fight this war, and that they were just kind of like forced to fight this. But what actually happened, Lincoln called for about 500,000 people, but he didn't have to force people to do it. Millions, not millions, but thousands upon thousands people signed up, and just like 10,000 Germans who didn't really have anything to fight with this war just came and signed up because they agreed with the Northern cause. So they definitely wanted to fight this war. They weren't just in it to.
For starters, we were an industrial state, so we were able to provide better and more supplies, and we actually produced 97% of the U.S. firearms, and we also were able to produce more medicine, so the soldiers were well taken care of. so they were able to fight better because they were healthier. And about the whole land thing, I know it was y'all's land and everything, but by fighting on y'all's land, we were destroying all of your crops, and y'all weren't able to provide for yourselves. And we had the more favored leader, therefore we gained more people and more soldiers to fight, and even slaves like escaped the South to come and fight for the North against y'all. So in the end, we just had more and more people to fight.
Another point that sets us apart from you guys is the fact that we have a steady finance. You see, your economy is based on crops. But what happens when we fight a war on your land and the crops are perished? Well, that means you're going to perish too, believe it or not. So the North was a more stable economy. We did have farming. We also had industry, as Sarah said. So that means we are going to be more set for the war. Aside from that, we have an established government. You were the ones that seceded from us. So we have a better military general, a better leader to lead us, and we also had a banking system that kept our economy in check.
Well, dudes, we may have had more heart, but we had more people. The North had 22 million people, and the South had 9 million, including millions of slaves, which actually escaped and fought against the South. So, and then, I mean, y'all may have tried to, I don't know, like trade with Europe and stuff, but we had a better navy, and so.
I'd like to first state that a majority of your points were extremely valid. About the crops, first off, we're good at hunting. We know how to hunt. We've been doing it for generations, and we'd be able to live off the animals we hunt. And also the crops, you said, would be destroyed. They were just fine. None of the wars were fought in any of the states where we grew crops. Moreover, the only reason you have your industry is because of the border states. If we're able to convince them that it's about slavery, you lose that, and in terms of that, you've already lost the war. Moreover, if we
How long do these have to be?
Just answer it completely.
like a sentence, or
Just answer it completely.
because I already did.
Okay, just do your best.